sit back, relax, and take a seat on the coaching couch.
Hello, everybody. It's Yvonne Lorraine with the Coaching Couch. I am so excited to be here today, and I have with me my most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful,
Patient, patient
huh,
client.
right here on the couch with me. How are you doing today, Sharon?
I'm doing fine. This is Sharon Taylor, founder and CEO of the Business Vision and Development Center, and always excited to sit on the coaching couch with I am Yvonne Lorraine.
Well, I tell you, you are definitely one of the best clients I have, Sharon. So today we're going to be talking about how to press through resistance. We're going to talk about I want to talk about what does that mean to operate in that space of resistance, maybe things on why we allow the resistance to show up and how we push through it. So, have you ever experienced being in a space of resistance, Sharon?
Oh, yes, indeedy. A lot of times, mostly when I have to have a difficult conversation. I will resist it. I will put it off. And ultimately, I end up having it. So, and then once I have it, I feel so relieved that I did it.
That's right. And you said one of the key things, a lot of things that we resist, we put off, we procrastinate, and knowing that it still has to happen.
Right. And so you spend all this time in angst and anxiety because you got to do it. And then you do it and you're like free. So why did I stand behind this gate forever when all I
Right.
had to do was push it open?
All we have to do is push it over. All we have to do is push through. And really, sometimes it's just get out of our own way for real. Because we can just think about a situation. Have you ever heard a person create the whole scenario to a situation that has not happened yet? Those are absolutely the worst. Yeah. And a lot of us do it, Sharon.
My thing is I'll create the scenario and I play the tape of the conversation over. I mean, word
Oh,
for
wow.
it's like I'm gonna say this, they're gonna say that, and it's just like, please turn that recording off. And it's never been what my mind thought it was going to be.
Exactly. You know why, right, Sharon? Because we can never predict what somebody's really going to say. We may have an idea sometimes. People say, I know how they are. I know what they're going to say. And it's like, well, you really don't because they haven't even heard. So they don't even know what they're going to say at this point.
And even if you know what they're gonna say, the conversation still has to be had.
Exactly. So the whole thing for today is just to think about. We all have certain situations. I have them. I've had a situation recently about resisting having to take action. And when I think about it, so I'm gonna tell you how I went through my process, Sharon, and maybe it helped you and others as well. So when I realized that I had a space of resistance, and meaning I did not want to do the task, I found every reason to not do it. Whatever it's gonna take, but it had to be done. So once I realized that, then the first step I had to do was ask myself, why am I resisting? It's not a situation that's gonna kill me, so there's no threat on my life for real.
Right.
Matter of fact, it's just a phone call away, to be honest, right? So when I thought about it, there are a couple of things that I came up with. Some was shared with me, and some I came up on my own. So, there's the thing of pride could be a possibility. I also realized that the thought of being rejected in the conversation. So I think it was more of the rejection. So for me, the way I got around it was to just avoid it, which was not the answer either.
Right.
So I had to, but I did have to identify with, wow, what's the worst that can happen for real? You
Yeah.
know, and when we think about it and think about pressing through, that's what we had to think about. So I did finally made the call. And like you said, once I did it, now there is no more resistance in that space because I pressed through, I did it. Matter of fact, I received enough information to know how to take the next step. But I wouldn't have never gotten it if I wouldn't have never pressed through my resistance. Yeah, I'm like, I'm not doing it. And I don't want to know what the answer is going to be. And I'm not sure, you know, I can come up with a whole lot of reasons to not press through. So that's just an example of that I'm sharing as far as being in a situation where you're resistant and you don't want to make a decision, you don't want to move forward, and you know you have to. So we have to figure out what is blocking us.
Yes.
My block, not your block, Sharon. You know, we
right, exactly. Exactly. And I think mine is more, it depends on what the situation is, of course. And my tactic when I finally do something is just jumping. Like, let me just wake up and go ahead and do it.
That is, look, we all have different ways on how, and that is a way. Look, it's just, you don't work your way through, you just jump through it.
Yeah, because the longer I try and work through it, the longer the issue is there, and the longer I'm gonna have anxiety. And then I go through what you said. I know I'm gonna live. Right. So what's the worst that's gonna happen?
What's the worst? So and even if you don't know what's the worst, still what's the worst. If you know it's not a situation that is going to kill you, that's a whole different topic. But if it's not going to kill you, just go ahead and get through it.
And the worst is if you don't do anything, the situation gets worse.
Exactly. The situation gets worse, your anxiety gets worse, and it just grows and grows like a real bad weed, and you don't want that.
Versus like this, a year later, you still putting it off.
Yeah, and we know putting off important situations that we are resistant to deal with can definitely, I mean, it can be unhealthy. It can cause a lot of different issues. So, you know, y'all hear us, you know, giggling a little bit about it, but it's a very serious situation, can be very serious, and definitely depending on what your situation is. So if you have anything taking place in your life, you need to be able to do something about it, and you feel the resistance within yourself, because y'all know that resistance is internal.
Yes, it's tight, isn't it?
Yeah, you will feel that thing every time it come up. You know, on the inside,
it's tight.
So when you feel that, know that you need to work through that. Matter of fact, if you can really just play a trick with yourself, when you feel it on the inside, totally ignore it and do the thing. Because why are we resisting things from the first place?
Thank you, Yvonne.
Yes, so that's all I have for our listeners today, Sharon, and hopefully we all will continue to work through those things that we resist, those conversations that we resist having, you know, those things we resist doing, and just choose to do it. Make the choice, do it, work through it and do it, or jump in it and get it done.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Yes, thank you, Sharon. Thank you for being with me here today on the coaching couch. And You all can find me, Yvonne Lorraine, on I am Yvonne Lorraine at gmail.com. And Sharon, share.
I am at info@thebvdcenter.org, and we're both on the Business Vision and Development Center YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe
Today, right now. Bye.
Bye-bye. Like, share, and subscribe.